going to be doing a short little video over how to find X-intercepts and Y-intercepts from a table using your graphing calculator. So this right here, all right, is our problem. What I'd like you to do right now is I'd like you to make your table. Okay, it's already here, but in your journal, go ahead and make your table. You have negative 35, an 18, a negative 28, and a 14, and a negative 21, and a 10, right? Now we're going to be finding more than just our x-intercept and y-intercept. We're actually going to end up finding our equation in slope-intercept form using the graphing calculator. Except the graphing calculator has it in ax plus b instead of mx plus b. Alright, now the first thing I want you guys to know is right now, our y-intercept, what is the x value always going to be for your y-intercept? 0. Okay? Now, for your x-intercept, what is your y value always going to be for your x-intercept? 0. That's what we've been doing. That's what we've been learning today. If you guys go back over here, we can see our y-intercept had a 0, 7. This ended up being negative 4. 7 over 4 is 0. You go back to our original problem. Our x-intercept was at negative 8, 0. Our y-intercept was at 0, negative 6. Okay? So that's something we're reviewing while we're doing this. Alright, what I'd like you guys to do right now is take a look at this table. Okay? Do you guys notice any zeros in the x values or any zeros in the y values? No. So the table does not give us the y-intercept and it does not give us the x-intercept. But these are points that are on a line. Okay, so check this out. Can you guys tell me what's happening from an 18 to a minus 4 to minus 4? What I'd like you guys to do is, you guys please put change in y. That's the change in y. Okay? Now, I went from a negative 35 to a negative 28. That did not go down. That actually went actually up. Oh, wait. No, it's plus 7. Plus 7. Here's what function. Negative 35 plus 7. Okay? Alright, so right now, can you guys please put change in x in your journal? Now, when I say, we talked about slope, which is the change in y over the change in x. This is how, when I look at a table, this is how I find the slope all the time. I always take the change in my y, and I place it over the change in my x. So automatically, I know what my slope is going to be. It's what? Negative 4 over 7. Okay? Does that give me my y-intercept? No, but it at least gives me my slope. So right here, I know what my slope is going to be. Negative 4 sevenths x plus, we put b. And b represents my y-intercept. Now look what the calculator says negative 4 sevenths is. It's going to be a decimal. It's going to be like negative 0.5714285714285714. It keeps goes on. All right, negative 0.5714285714. It keeps going on forever. So when your calculator spits this out, just know that this right here is, what do we call this? This is called a continuous decimal. It goes on forever. It doesn't end. Okay? That's why, what do we use for our slope? We don't use the decimal, we use the fraction. Okay? So here's what I want us to do. How are we going to use this table to make our equation? Here's what I want you to do. Go to your graphing calculator right now. Here's your steps you're going to write down. Step number 1. Follow this. Ready? Step number 1, I want you to find where it says step. Find where it says step, and you press enter. Okay? So stat, I'm giving you steps right now. Stat, and then what do you press? You press enter. Number 2. Okay? When you press enter, it's gone to the what screen? It's gone to the edit screen. When you go to the edit screen, you're going to have an L1 column, and you're going to have an L2 column. Basically, this means list 1, this means list 2. L1 represents your x values, L2 represents your y values. The numbers that you're going to plug in a negative 35, and an 18, a negative 28, and a 14. So what number numbers are you plugging in? Negative 35, and an 18, and a negative 28, and a 14. That's what you're going to plug in your L1 and your L2. Okay? Now, once you have those typed in exactly as this appears, then you're going to do step 4. Okay? So this is where students can get here, but they forget. How do you do that? So here are the instructions that you can have in your journal. If you have them in your journal, you can use them. You hit stat. Again, you press the right arrow. This means when I have an arrow going to the right, that means you're pressing the right arrow button. Now, I'm going to demonstrate on the calculator so you see exactly the steps. I want you to write down the instructions first. Okay? Once you press the right arrow, you're going to see a place where it says CALC, short for calculate, and you're going to go down to number 4. And number 4 will say LINREG. It might even say LINEREG. And it'll say AX plus B. AX plus B. You're going to press enter. So once you get here, you're going to press enter. And number 6, right, press enter multiple times. To calculate AX plus B. So your calculator is going to spit out. It's going to tell you what your A value is, and it's going to tell you about your B value. Now the calculator will spit out negative 0.571428, and that'll keep going. And what do we already know our slope's going to be? We already know it's going to be what? Negative 4/7. What are we hoping the calculator tells us? What our y-intercept is? Don't tell it to me. I'll get there. All right? So right now, make sure you have this. I'm going to pause the video. Here is the list of instructions of how to find your what? Slope and y-intercept. Just remember, y equals mx plus b, and the graphing calculator is y equals ax plus b. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and turn my graphing calculator on. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do this. So remember, I'm going to hit stat, enter. What am I going to edit? Oh man, I'm going to get all these out. Sorry, that was one of my pre-calc questions for investigating polynomial functions. Okay, so let's just put our numbers in. What went here?
Negative 35.
Okay, what went right here?
Negative, no, sorry, 18.
18. Okay. All right, what about here?
Negative 14.
And then right here, 14. Okay. Now, once you guys remember, what did I say that these columns represent? That represents your x values, that represents your y values, okay? So now that we know that, now you're going to hit stat. This is the right arrow. You're going to right arrow to where it says calculate. What did I say? Which number do I want you to go to? Number 4. What does that represent? That represents your m value. That represents your y-intercept, okay? So we're going to go to number 4 and press enter all the way down. And what do you get? Now, what's the confusing part? That. But what do we know that's going to be? Negative 4/7. Okay? So right now, put y equals negative 4/7x minus 2. What do we know our y-intercept to be? What's our y-intercept? No. Yeah, so put 0, negative 2. So could you guys please put 0, negative 2? Okay? That's your y-intercept. This is the hard part, okay? I'm going to show you how to do it in the graphing calculator, but I'm also going to show you how to do it by hand. How do we find our x-intercept? What do I have to make my y value equal to? I got to make my y value equal to 0. So can you guys please make this equal? Make your y value equal to 0. Make your y value equal to 0. Okay? What do I want you to do with this negative 2? Just take that negative 2 and just move it across. You're like, wait a second. Can I take the negative 4/7 and move it across? Absolutely. If you want to take the negative 4/7 and move it across, that's fine. So 4/7 x equals negative 2. But I'm not going to divide. Don't worry. If you're watching this video, I lost my class attention anyways. But so if you're watching, at 4/7 times the number equals negative 2. This is when you have to multiply both sides by what's called the reciprocal. And when you multiply both sides by the reciprocal, this 7 cancels this 7 out. This 4 cancels this 4 out. Negative 2 times 7 is negative 14 over 4. But that reduces to negative 7 over 2, also known as negative 3.5. What's your x-intercept? Negative 7 over 2, comma 0. So let me explain to you how you guys can use the graphing calculator to do all of this over here, do all of it for you. Once you get this, can you type that in the graphing calculator? Yes, so do it right now with me, please. Okay, y equals, type in negative 4 divided by 7x. Or is it 4/7? Is it negative 4/7?
4/7.
Or is it 4/7? Let me go back. Yep, negative here. All right. Negative 4/7 x minus 2. Okay. Let's check our table. Just to make sure we got the right equation. Let's check our table. Let's start our table. What was one of our ordered pairs? Was it negative 35? All right, watch. At negative 35, what should my x value be? 18. At negative 28, what's my x value? At negative
18.
You guys see these right here? You see that ordered pair and that ordered pair? That should look familiar. That's what we started with, right? Okay? So here's what I want you to do. Hit graph. Hit graph. Okay, so there we go. There's our graph. Does everybody see where this point is right there on the graph?
Negative
0, negative 2. Does everybody see this point right there? That's at negative 3.50. But the graphing calculator doesn't tell you that, does it? So check it out. Here's what you can do. On the x-axis, everybody, on the x-axis, what is your y value always equal to?
0.
0. So check this out. I think this is pretty cool. Hit y equals. Go down to y2, hit 0. And hit graph. Wherever your y value is equal to 0, and wherever it crosses that blue line, that point of intersection is your x-intercept. So how can I do this? Here we go. This is where you might want to write this down in your journal. If you forget, you can know that it's on the video. Hit second, trace. What are we going to calculate? We're going to calculate the point of intersection between those two lines. We're going to calculate the point of intersection. And what does it say our point of intersection is at? Negative 3.5. Okay? I'm going to do that one more time. Ready? Second, trace. We're going to find a point of intersection. All right? And our first one's the blue one. Our second one is y equals 0. And where do they intersect? They intersect at negative 3.5. Now, there's some math snobs out there that right now like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to hit y equals and put 0. You can actually do second trace and calculate a 0. Now, where is my 0 located? Between here and here. My 0 is located. What's my x value? 1, 2, 3. That's at a negative 4. This is a negative 3. Is my 0 located between negative 4 and negative 3? So watch this. What does this ask us for? Left boundary, negative 4. What does it do? It draws in a boundary. What's your right boundary? Negative 3. When it calculates it, what's it equal to? Negative 3.5. So what's another way you could calculate your 0? What could you do? Hit second trace and calculate your 0. And what do you have to establish? A left boundary. What if you put the left boundary at -5 and the right boundary at -1? Is the 0 still located between those boundaries? Is that 0 located right there between those boundaries? It is. And it still gives you the same answer. So what are our final answers, everybody? What was our x-intercept?
3.5.
Well, -3.5. What was our y-intercept? 0, -2. And we did it all by typing it into what? L1 and L2. Hit stat. Follow those instructions. When you guys get to all of the tables, what do I want you to use? The stat editor. Okay, -3.5, 0, and 0, -2. So here we go. Let's find my. There it is. Where's Google? All right, what was my y-intercept? 0 and -2. And then my x-intercept was at what? -3.5 and a 0. Okay? Just remember, take these numbers and do what? Go to your stat editor. Plug them in, then hit stat. Right arrow. Go down to number 4. Go down to where it says calculate and calculate your slope and your y-intercept. Now, one more thing. Check it out. Stat. Right arrow. Number 4. You guys see where it says store regression equation? Look what you can do. You can store it, alpha trace, you can store it in your y1. And now when you do that, when you hit y equals, look what it does for you. It types it all in for you. Okay? And then to find your 0 again, hit second trace, calculate your 0 for your x-intercept. I went between a -5 and a -3. And your 0 was at -3.5. Have a good day.